The Winston-Salem Forsyth County School District continues to wrestle with its financial crisis after being in a $46.1 million deficit for fiscal year 2024 and 25.
And the district also had to make hundreds of staff cuts to have a balanced budget for this current fiscal year.
And tomorrow its leaders will meet with the State Board of Education to address an appeal.
WXII 12's Bethany Cates joins us in studio with more on what the district is hoping to achieve in Raleigh on Tuesday. Bethany.
Tomorrow's meeting comes in response to the appeal the district made to waive the 1% penalty fee on overdraft funds owed to the state, which totaled more than $11 million. And on Saturday, the district paid nearly $8 million of that, leaving a balance of $3.4 million. In the appeal letter, the board chair described what this interest penalty would do to the district if the state voted to move forward.
We need some divine intervention.
After weeks of school board meetings, hearing the public's opinions, updating the community on the status of the budget and layoffs, the Winston-Salem Forsyth County Board of Education will head to Raleigh to see if their appeal will be honored. This comes after the State Board of Education gave the district a grace period to pay off all of its debt.
Once we hit September 20th, 2025, any amount that has not been paid to DPI will incur an interest penalty of 1% per month.
In a letter submitted to support the appeal, the board chair says that the interest would further compound the district's debt obligation and the time it would take to pay back. But one Winston-Salem Forsyth County teacher says this still wouldn't be enough.
I mean, if you get the 1% waive, fine, but what about those individuals who get their RIF notices or the ones who are getting demoted?
Jeffrey Saunders wrote a letter to Governor Josh Stein asking him to step in and assist with the situation.
And the only thing right now, asking if the governor can assist, what can he do to stop? Because not only that, we're in a time right now that education is important.
The district says they have maximized all available resources, but continue to struggle to resolve its outstanding financial obligations, and there is no surplus of funds.
Right now, it's a crisis.
The state will decide if they will move to honor or deny the appeal, dictating the future of the district's debt crisis.
And I anticipate that the state board would likely vote on September 4th whether or not to approve that request.
If the state votes to move forward with the 1% penalty on the total debt, it will continue to add to the district's major financial problems. I will be covering tomorrow's meeting and will bring you updates throughout the day, both on air and online at WXII12.com. In studio, I'm Bethany Cates for WXII 12 News.